We are doing a North London derby tier list. So I've sent 10 players to Ben, Spurs fan, 10 players to Kwarmz, and we're going to rank them. God tier, great tier, good tier, or overrated. And the player that we're starting with is Gareth Bale. Kwarmz, which tier is Bale in? 11 North London derbies, 5 goals, 1 assist.
I've put him in great tier based on that. As a player, I would have put him in God tier because we've spoken about what he's done in Europe. But yeah, strictly for the North London derby, yes, he has scored 5 goals. I do remember them very well. But yeah, for me, I put him as great player. So I'll keep it as that.
Yeah, great for me. Yeah, it always turned up in the North London derbies. I remember he scored in his first season, actually, as a Spurs player in the derby, free kick when he was still in his left-back days, and then had so many good moments in them. So, yeah, I'd say it's great for me.
Yeah, I always remember the one where he just somehow got through, I think, past Mertesacker outside of the boot, and then he did this the heart celebration. That one.
Bale in that all-white kit, long sleeves with the yellow F50s. That was in his era. We just couldn't stop him.
He also scored a really nice goal. I think Arsenal beat Spurs 5-2.
Yeah.
And he scored a nice goal with his right foot outside.
It was in that like black and grey kit.
Yeah. Yeah, all right, so we agree on great there.
Yep.
Theo Walcott will go to next. Ben?
I would say good. I mean, he obviously had that had the 2-0 moment, then he was getting stretched off, which was fun. I'd put Theo Walcott in good. I was never like, when the other players that Arsenal had, I don't know what the stats are in terms of his impact in the derbies, but he always played okay, but I was never massively scared of him compared to some of the other Arsenal players that, obviously, I think Walcott kind of went through a few different eras at Arsenal, and there was always players in the teams that he was playing in that kind of scared me more than him. But I wouldn't say he was overrated. I don't think he was ever kind of... He actually had probably a better career than people probably give him credit for. So I would say good, I think, with Theo Walcott.
Stats-wise, there's 19 games, 5 goals, 5 assists. So 4 more assists than Bale, but 8 more games. Where have you got him?
I've got him in good. I've got him in good, so similar to Ben, because I was tossing and turning between good and overrated, because he was a player that I thought would be one of the best, especially English talent, and he kind of fell short in that aspect. But merely for this task, I think good is good enough for him.
All right, let's stick on the wingers. We're going to go Heung-min Son. Kwarmz, where have you got Son?
I got Son. That's annoying. I got Son as God because he would always score against us. Yeah,
the God tier.
Always against us. This is not derby people. So
look, Son, 19 games, 7 goals, 5 assists.
Yeah,
he was so annoying. It used to irk me because you could see it happening in the sense that if you're playing against Spurs, I wasn't worried about Kane. It was more Son for me.
Yeah, my Arsenal mates actually said they used to say the same thing. A lot of time, you weren't really worried about Kane as much. It was always Son was the one. Because
he was so unpredictable. Obviously, there's no denying his quality, but I just think some of the things he could run with the ball, he could run off the ball off the shoulder of the last man, and he could finish. He could always finish left and right foot. So he was an absolute nuisance for us. So merely for the North London derby, I'd have to put him up there because
God tier.
He always scored.
Have you gone God tier as well?
Yeah, I've gone God tier as well. I think he always turned up in those games. I remember the goal that he speak about him being a nuisance. I remember that was that one in COVID where Lacazette scored a screamer, and then 2 minutes later he just nicked it. Yeah, he just literally nicked. Was it Mustafi? I think he nicked it off and then went round the keeper and scored. And then the year after that, curled it in the top corner.
Yeah,
scored in the 3-0 as well that we beat you, which kind of helped us get Champions League. Scored twice at the Emirates as a captain as well for us in his first season as captain. I think he's great. I think my Arsenal mates speak the same. Obviously, Kane is. I think we all know what category Kane's going to go in here for what he did in the derbies, but overrated.
Definitely overrated.
Yeah, but he, my Arsenal mates always say the same. Son was the one we were actually really worried about. So I think God tier for me.
Okay, let's have a look. A bit of a different profile then. Let's go to Cesc Fabregas. Because this guy, I haven't got the number of games, but 2 goals, 10 assists against Spurs.
Fabregas went straight into great for me.
Into great?
Yeah, maybe potentially. Yeah, I wouldn't be against that.
You love the game and a big performance against Spurs.
He scored screamer at White Hart Lane in the same game that Adebayor scored that volley. Obviously scored the goal straight from kickoff as well.
Yeah, just after Van Persie.
Yeah,
scored.
Fabregas was an amazing. But I wouldn't be against God. I think he was an amazing player, and he was again kind of the heartbeat of that Arsenal team. Really, like I would. Again, he kind of went through different sort of generations of that Arsenal team, from a young kid to the captain. Was he your captain?
He was, he was. And he left.
Top player. Yeah, he did. Yeah, top player. Fabregas.
You got him in God tier?
I'll put him God tier, yeah. Strictly for that, for the assists, for the impact, some memorable goals. Even though it wasn't as many, it was some pivotal goals. And for a player at such a young age, I think he was such a leader for us. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's always been missed. Yeah, I miss him so much.
Yeah, fair enough. No, I'd agree with that. Let's go for Dele Alli. Kwarmz, where have you put Dele Alli in his North London derby career?
North London derby career, I say good.
Okay.
I'll say good.
2 goals, 2 assists.
Yeah, I'll say good. Yeah.
I'd say good's fair.
Yeah.
I think obviously there was more. Dele's game was a lot about goals, but there was much more to it than that. Obviously, one of my favourite ever Spurs goals is the goal he scored against you in the League Cup quarter final. Like the Emirates just dinking it over the keeper. It's my favourite ever goals, that. And he always turned up like in those big derbies, whether it was Chelsea or whether it was the North London derby. Like he loved the big game like that. But yeah, I guess you could say, compared to some of the other players, even though he played well in the games whenever we played you, I probably would say good as well. I think not quite enough to be great.
Yeah.
Next one, Alexis Sanchez. Where do you rank for you, Ben?
Great.
Scared.
One of the he scored against us. I don't think he ever scored against us loads.
I think it was 3 goals.
Yeah, but he always he really scared me.
Yeah, performance-wise, it was more than just his goals, for sure.
Like he was so. I think you look back on it now, I think he's incredibly underrated, or maybe doesn't get the flowers that he deserves. It was like, if you talk about fear factor going into one of those games, then I'd probably, maybe the output doesn't stack up to being great, but I think in the derby, like when you're going into that game, you're thinking about those opposition players and thinking, I really hope he doesn't have a good game. He always plays well against us. Whoever Perez was always like that. He always turned up against Tottenham. But yeah, I'd probably put Sanchez in great. Like that was, the goals didn't really. I didn't realise he didn't score that many, but he was always one I was really scared of.
Yeah, Kwarmz, where have you got Sanchez?
Yeah, I put him great.
And great.
Yeah, I put him great. Again, he didn't score many in the North London derby, but he was one of the players that you knew he would put in a performance. He would rise to the occasion, and he'll kind of drag the rest of the team through it. Yeah. So, yeah, for me, great.
Moussa Dembele. I put him in just because he's the most spoken about player on most ex-Spurs, ex-Belgian players' lips, and
he's a talk of the town.
He's a talk of the town at the moment, so I put him in there in terms of. Look, I don't remember too many North London derbies from Moussa Dembele, but in terms of this tier list, where are you putting him?
I put him good. Yeah. There's no denying his quality, and obviously Ben's spoken very highly of him and referred to a few games and a few seasons where he was like the standout player. But for me, in the North London derby, he wasn't the guy that I was really worried about. He was part of the team, part of the system that would contribute towards it. But yeah, I just remember his physical presence, and then obviously he was able to skip through players and pass players with ease. But yeah, for me, that's why I put him good.
This is the thing as well. Look, I know how good he is. Players talk about how good he is, but we said this in the last show. I never went into a North London derby as an Arsenal fan thinking, Moussa Dembele's playing today. Or I was never particularly. There was always other players, Son, Kane, Eriksen, these kind of players that I was more scared of than Dembele. So look, this isn't my list. This is your boys' list, but I would put him just for the North London derby. I'd put him in overrated.
Okay,
Where have you gone?
I've got him in good. Yeah. But again, I think he always played well in the game. So I think there was players that stood out more than him. But I do think we're creeping into dangerous territory with Dembele. Of kind of, he's not an overrated player. I just think he gets spoken about
just
so
for the
much.
North London derbies. I'm talking about specifically.
He did have some good performances, but he can't. In terms of the derby, I don't think you can touch the other players that are above him for his performances there. But he was, I wouldn't say overrated, but I'd definitely say good. Right,
next player, Mesut Ozil. Ben, starting with you. 1 goal, 4 assists.
Yeah, I would probably say good as well. I remember the goal he scored was in White Hart Lane. It's like a side-footed volley, I think that was the game where Kane scored twice and we won. Ozil was a funny player to me because I feel like there were so many comparisons to Eriksen and Ozil at the time, and I was always obviously team Eriksen. And I think that debate probably aged quite well. But I was never as scared of Ozil as I was of Sanchez, for example. Like Sanchez was always the one, even though Ozil was so easy on the eye. I don't necessarily remember many amazing games from him in North London derbies. Like you said, his output's probably stronger than Sanchez, to be honest. But I think Sanchez just gave me that fear factor going into these games. Ozil was a fantastic player, but I think good for me. I don't think he was necessarily transcended into that great tier for the derbies.
Yes, as much as I rate Ozil, I'll put him in good as well. He's probably a player during the North London derby or any of the derbies where you'd think, oh no, they're gonna bully him. Because he's not a physical player.
Yeah, and those derbies were feisty during the Poch, that kind of time as well. They were feisty.
He didn't have as much time. He wasn't allowed as much time on the ball. So yeah, there was a few times where I think he did get caught on the ball in a few North London derbies, which frustrated me. So yeah, I'm going to put him in good.
All right, Ozil goes in the good category. Harry Kane, 19 games, the most ever goals in a North London derby, 14 goals and 3 assists.
Overrated.
Ben, you agree? Overrated?
Yeah, let's move. You know what? Now he's left us and he didn't win a trophy with us. Son's the bigger. He's overrated. Man. No, God, he's the god.
He is.
Him and Son in the god tier, and Kane is the god. Like for the North London derby, the moments he had felt like he scored in every game he ever played against you guys.
It did. Yeah.
Like, he just a ridiculous striker that stood up to the big occasion. And the thing with Kane, I think, what always sticks out with the North London derby is to me is that the season he announced himself in that 14-15 season, like it felt like he was living like every young Spurs fan's dream. Like exploded onto the scene, scored against Chelsea, a brace against Chelsea. Then it's like, oh my God, is he going to do it in the North London derby? We're 1-0 down. He scores 2 goals to turn the game around, and he's the hero. Like. And then his record speaks for itself.
Can I just quickly ask you a question? I'll put him in the gods tier as well, based on everything that we've been discussing. But do you feel, because I have this conversation with a lot of fans, he is world class. Do you feel that Harry Kane is world class?
Absolutely, yeah.
Why do you feel that is?
Because you can't argue with his goals, what he brings in overall play as well. He's got the trophy monkey off his back now as well, which seemed to be the only thing that was holding people back from putting him in that conversation. I do think at times he's let himself down in big moments, like I think for England, but he's also had some big moments for England as well. Germany, for example, has had some big moments for Tottenham. The thing with Kane that always held him back a little bit with Tottenham in terms of that big game stuff is that whenever we got to a final, like a semi-final, it was just never he was never fit and rushed himself back for the Champions League final and for the League Cup final in his penultimate season as well. Like he just never really worked out for him in those big games. He was never fit properly going into them. But he also needs to look at himself and perform a bit better in some of them as well. But Kane's undoubtedly world class. Like a world class finisher, a world class footballer, so intelligent, works so hard. That's not even a conversation for me. It's 100% world class.
No, the answer to my question, no. But it's just.
But do you question whether he's world class?
I do. I've always questioned him. I mean, it's only recently when he's won at Bayern Munich. But for me, my definition of a world class player is not just based on their trophies. It is based on what Ben kind of touched on in terms of moments, big moments. And I always get people to name world class players or strikers, and they'll name me. I'd say Suarez and this one and Torres and whatnot, prime Torres. I'd say, okay, give me a moment for Harry Kane, and then that's when they're kind of scratching their head and they're like, the North London derby where he took the mask off and he scored, and I'm like, that's why I feel like Harry Kane needs to kind of cement himself, in my opinion. In my opinion, I'm not saying he's not a world class, but I'm just saying, like, for me, I need to see him on the biggest of stages, not just obviously for club but for country. Performing, I feel like he hasn't delivered in that.
I get exactly what you're saying. I just think he was above the team.
Yeah,
a lot
I was
of
just going to say this. Like,
if you'd put him in one of the Barcelona teams of 10 years ago, Real Madrid, City, if you put him in a better team, he would have those moments because he would have been in the positions to get those moments a lot more. Yeah. Whereas at Spurs, he had to drag the team to a League Cup final, drag the team to a Champions League final, which he shouldn't even have played in. Do you know what I mean? So the chance for him to have those chances, to have those moments was so scarce that's the argument. Whereas I just think as an all-round player, as a goal scorer, just even the way he drops back into the 10, his passing ability, he's undoubtedly world class.
I think you can question. I think you can probably question it for England a bit more, because of the quality of players that are around him. But I also think he's getting a little bit older now as well. Like he's undoubtedly world class, the best finisher in world football.
He's one of the best finishers that.
If you want a striker, you go and get Kane. Simple as that. Like he's world class.
All right, last one, interesting one here because it could go a few ways. Aubameyang, starting with you, Kwarmz. Had a lot of moments.
He did have a lot of moments in North London derby. I might have to actually put him up in my.
That penalty miss was amazing. I enjoyed that one.
Oh, God.
I'll put him in great. Yeah.
I did great as well.
Although, he had a lot of moments in North London derbies. He was one of the guys that led us up top. I still don't think he would be. I would cement him in that God level. In that sense, a lot of Arsenal fans will probably say yes because we love Aubameyang. We loved him as a player, and when he would turn up, he was unstoppable. Such an unstoppable player. But
that first time finish.
Yes, first time finish was incredible.
Love that one. Ben,
great.
Agree with great.
Yeah, again, a bit like Sanchez. There's that fear factor. I think with Aubameyang, like for what people always say about. I think there's a little bit of a misconception around his character, a little bit, and you guys probably know that more than anybody after what. The circumstance in which he left Arsenal and all that. He was a leader, and it felt like that. He felt like he was carrying that team on its back for a while. Scored that brilliant goal in the 4-2, I think it was at the Emirates, like where he turned it around from outside the box. I don't know how many goals he scored, but it felt like he'd scored.
I think it was 4 goals, 4 assists.
Pretty decent record in a fairly short space of time. Yeah, a goal contribution every game. Yeah, I think great. Again, I think with Sanchez, I was always scared of Aubameyang, like whenever he played. But yeah, I'll go great.
Well, there you go. That's the tier list. I'm sure you can probably see it on your screens now. But yeah, guys, thank you very much.
Nice one.
And let us know your thoughts in the comments.